Hello my dear students, let us continue our class. Yes, we have started thermodynamics, it was going on. So today also the continuation of thermodynamics. Let us see today's objectives. So today's objectives are derivation of Mayer's formula, okay, and numericals also. Okay, so Mayer's relation as well as numericals we are going to do today. So this is the, I said no, thermodynamics, we were continuing the class, therefore better to recall what we had studied. Just recall, yeah, isothermal process we have studied, adiabatic process, then their work done, derivation of work done during isothermal expansion, compression as well as adiabatic expansion, compression, etc. we have done, okay. So all those things we have completed. Now its continuation we are going to do. As it is said, we are going to derive Mayer's relation. Mayer's relation is nothing but, see, Cp minus Cv equal to R. So we want to know what is Cp and what is Cv. Last class just I mentioned when I told about gamma. Remembering Cp by Cv? Okay. So let us see what is Cp and Cv. Cp stands for specific heat capacity at constant pressure. Specific heat capacity, you know, amount of heat required to raise the temperature by 1 degree Celsius for 1 gram of substance or for 1 mole of substance. Since you have studied this specific heat capacity, just see the definition. What is molar specific heat capacity? That is, molar specific heat capacity can be explained for constant volume and constant pressure. See, for constant volume means amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of gas through 1 degree Celsius by keeping volume as constant. Okay. Similarly, if it is for constant pressure, the same thing. Amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of the substance through 1 degree Celsius when pressure is constant. That is what is represented by Cp and Cv. Molar specific heat capacity, okay, and the unit also calorie per mole per gram, calorie per mole per degree Celsius or Kelvin, okay. This is the standard unit of heat capacities, specific heat capacities or molar specific heat capacities, okay. So by keeping that idea in our mind, let us start Mayer's relation. We are going to derive. This is what is called Mayer's relation. Cp minus Cv equal to R is called Mayer's relation. That is thermodynamics. Work is done by the gas. We are calculating it. In that we are calculating the relationship between Cp and Cv. What is R? Universal gas constant, right? Okay. So for doing this, we need a system. Okay. We need a thermodynamic system. So this is our thermodynamic system. This is going to going to be heated, going to expand. Okay. So this experimental setup little more clearly I have given in this slide. Just see the slide. Okay. The system is given whose initial pressure, volume and temperature is noted as P1, V1 and T. Or P, V and T are the symbols we are using for pressure, volume, temperature. Initial can be P1, V1, T1, final P2, V2, T2, that is the common format we are using. Here general manner P, V and T are the pressure, volume and temperature. Okay. Since we are treating under constant pressure and constant volume, see the middle diagram. Second diagram is indicating expansion of the gas under constant volume. That is why some weights kept on the piston. So volume will not be changing, pressure will be changing. And see the next one, it is allowed to expand. Therefore, pressure will be changing, pressure will be maintained same, volume will be varying. Okay. So second picture is indicating at constant volume, third picture is indicating at constant pressure. Okay. Is the diagram clear? Okay then. Now let us start. For that diagram, first we are keeping some weights we are keeping over here and allow the gas to expand at constant volume. Okay. So before that, what is first law of thermodynamics we have studied? dQ is equal to du plus dW, first law of thermodynamics we have studied. Okay, now we are expanding or allowing the gas to expand under constant volume, or under constant volume we are supplying heat energy. Okay, then amount of heat energy supplied according to the definition of specific heat capacity, it is equal to Cv into change in temperature dt. This is for heat energy required for 1 mole of substance for 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. If it is for dt Kelvin, Cv into dt. Okay. Now, this is under constant volume. Therefore, what about work done? Work is equal to P into change in volume. Since there is no change in volume, work equal to 0. Here, since it is under constant volume, work equal to 0, therefore we can write dq is equal to, work is equal to 0 is equal to du alone. But what is dq, amount of heat supplied? Cv dt. Therefore, Cv dt is equal to du. Okay, one of the equations. Clear? Same thing we are going to, now removing the weight and all, we are going to expand the heat under constant pressure. Volume is changing. If it is under constant pressure, according to the same specific heat capacity term, then if it is under constant pressure, we can write it as Cp into dt. Okay. Since it is under constant pressure, its volume is changing from V1 to V2. That means change in volume is there. There is a change in volume. That means work will be there, which is equal to P dV. Right. So, work is equal to P dV. Okay. Then according to, now how we have written this, similarly by applying in the first law of thermodynamics, we can write dq means Cp dt is equal to change in internal energy du plus work done P dV. So, du plus P dV. Okay. Therefore, according to first law of thermodynamics, we have written the expression under constant pressure and constant volume. Okay. Let it be equation number 1 and equation number 2. We need the relationship between Cp and Cv, like Cp minus Cv. So, subtract equation number 1 from equation number 2, 2 minus 1. That is Cp dt is here, Cv dt is in the first equation. By taking the difference of those two, how can we write? Second equation minus first equation is Cp dt minus Cv dt. Right hand side is equal to du plus P dV minus du. Okay. Du plus P dV minus du. That means du cancels, only P dV is there. Here dt is common. We can take dt also outside. Therefore, it will be dt into Cp minus Cv is equal to P dV. Okay. Cp minus Cv into dt is equal to P dV. Right. Since this is gas, let us use our gas equation also. PV is equal to RT. It is changing volume format. So, by taking the derivative here, P into change in volume is equal to, this is universal constant, change in temperature. So, by differentiating, we can write P dV is equal to R dt. The same we can substitute here. What is P dV? R dt. While substituting that there, instead of P dV, we can write R dt. See the whole equation, dt into Cp minus Cv is equal to R into dt. Since dt is common, we can write Cp minus Cv equal to R. Okay, Cp minus Cv is equal to R. That is our desired equation, which is known as Mayer's relationship. Easy, no? This is Cp minus Cv is equal to universal gas constant is called our Mayer's relationship between Cp and Cv. Let us see the steps once again. Okay, see from the starting. Yes, it is dq is equal to du plus dw. We are allowing the gas to expand under constant volume, then dw is equal to 0, getting the equation dq is equal to Cv dt. So, Cv dt is equal to du. Again, same thing we are doing under constant pressure. Therefore, dw is equal to pdv. So, getting the equation as Cp dt is equal to du plus pdv. By taking the difference as well as considering the gas equation and taking the differential of the same, we are getting Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Okay, Cp minus Cv is equal to R. So, Mayer's relationship, that derivation is clear. Under constant pressure, constant volume, taking the difference, applying gas equation, getting the relation. Okay, that's all. Clear now? Okay, fine. That's the end of this chapter. So, let us do some numericals now. See the first question. Read the question. Find the work done on 1 gram molecule of a perfect gas when it expands isothermally. Isothermally means at constant temperature to double its volume. So, final volume is 2V, double the initial volume. Initial temperature is normal temperature 0 degree Celsius and gas constant is 8.91 joule per mole per Kelvin. Okay, that is the question. So, got the question, isn't it? Now, what we have to calculate? Work done under isothermal condition. What is the formula for that? For isothermal, W is equal to 2.3026 or 2.303 RT, remembering RT log to the base 10 V2 by V1, log to the base 10 V2 by V1. Now, what is V2 by V1? They said volume becomes double than the initial volume is V, means final volume is double than the other one. That means it is 2. Okay. So, the equation will be then 2.303 R, temperature 0 degree means 273 Kelvin, R value also given. What is R value? 8.91. So, we can substitute that also. 8.91 log to the base 10 2. V2 by V1 is 2. Okay, multiply it, easy now. In your calculator you can take log to the base 10 2. That means arithmetic log, simply log. Take what is log 2, you can see it is 0.3010. Usually log 2 is, that value may not be, maybe known to you, 0.3010. Therefore, by multiplying all, what we are getting? 273 into 8.91 into log 2. Multiply and tell me. Is it 1687? Yes? Yeah, 1687. Since it is work, unit is joule. Clear? Just verify the steps with this. Equation is there. R value T 0 degree means 273 Kelvin. V2 by V1 is 2V by V. Substituting for log 2, getting the answer. Clear? Okay. No doubt, no? Okay then. Shall we move on to the next one? Yes. See the next numerical, next question. A tire pumped to a pressure of 3 atmosphere. Okay, initial pressure 3 atmosphere. It suddenly burst. That means adiabatic process, sudden change. Calculate the falling temperature if the temperature of air before expansion. Initial temperature is 27 degrees Celsius and gamma value is given 1.4. Okay, that means it is given initial pressure is 3 times atmospheric pressure. After bursting, it is equal to, because it is open, that means it is equal to atmospheric pressure. Okay. Initial temperature is 27. 27 plus 373 means 300 Kelvin. asked to calculate what is the final temperature if the value of gamma is 1.4. Okay? Yes. Temperature, pressure, including temperature and pressure, which equation we have studied for adiabatic process? Starting 3 equations we have studied. So, which equation we have studied for adiabatic process? P2 raised to gamma minus 1 by T2 raised to gamma is equal to P1 raised to gamma minus 1 by T1 raised to gamma. Okay? Okay? Relation between pressure and adiabatics, that process equation in terms of pressure and temperature. 3 formulas we had studied. So, here pressure and temperature is given. So, we can choose the expression in terms of pressure and temperature. Okay. For calculating easily, P2 and P1 can bring to one side. So, P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 by T1 raised to gamma. Okay. What is P2 by P1? What is P2 by P1? 1 by 3. Okay. So, 1 by 3 raised to gamma minus 1. If we are reversing, P2 is 3P, P2 is P, P1 is 3P. So, 1 by 3 raised to gamma minus 1. What is gamma? 1.4. So, minus 1 means only 0.4. So, 1 by 3 raised to 0.4 is equal to T2, we don't know, by, okay, 300 by T2 by 300 raised to 1.4. Either we can do it in the calculator or with the help of your logarithm table you can do it. Okay. Here for doing this we can take 0.4 log of 1 by 3. Okay. Here 1.4 log T2 minus log 300. Max class you have studied, no? Log A by B is equal to log A minus log B, the same format. See, it is better to write instead of 1 by 3, if it is 3 by 1, it is easy. So, just let us reverse it. 3 raised to 0.4 is equal to, for doing it easily, 3 raised to 0.4 is equal to 300 by T2 raised to 1.4. Now, can take the log on either side. So, it will be 0.4 log 3. Okay. Log A raised to x is equal to x log A, that format. So, log 3 raised to 0.4 is 0.4 into log 3. Here 1.4 into log A by B, that is 1.4 into log A, that is 300 minus log B. Okay, can take the log. After taking log 3, can multiply. This can be bracket can be opened. So, it will be 0.4 log 3, 1.4 into log 300 minus, or better log 300 minus log T2 itself, we can divide. After getting log 3 and multiplying with the 0.4, we can divide with 1.4. Okay, can divide with 1.4, then we will be getting, that is 0.4 log 3. At last everything together we can do log 300 minus log T2. Okay, step by step we can do. This can be done easily, no? 0.4 into log 3 divided by 1.4. After that, we need log T2. So, if we are taking log T2 one side, log 300 the other side, then it will be log 300 plus this. Okay? Then we are getting what is log T2. Okay? Log 300, 0.4 into log 3 by 1.4. After calculating, we are getting log T2. By taking the anti-log of this answer, we will be getting T2. That is, T2 is equal to, here itself I will be writing, T2 is equal to anti-log of this answer. Okay, after doing, take the anti-log of this answer, we will be getting the final answer. After calculating that, all these substituting, taking log of 300, log 3 and multiplying with the 0.4 and dividing with 1.4 while doing in the calculator and all, at last we are getting 219.2 Kelvin. T2 is equal to 219.2. Just mathematical calculations. Okay. Therefore, in the question it is asked what is the fall in temperature, right? Initial temperature was 300. Now it is 219. So, what is the change in temperature? As per the question, fall in temperature to be calculated. Fall in temperature means initial temperature minus final temperature. By taking the difference, what will be getting? 80.8 Kelvin. That is the final answer. Here some log and all using, since you are familiar with your mathematical classes, it may not be a problem. Okay, so the steps clear? Just see the steps once again. Initial pressure, final pressure, initial temperature, etc. given. So we were choosing the formula in terms of pressure and temperature. Okay, after that substituted the values there. After substituting the values, in terms of log we got, related to log some rules we are using here. By using those rules and all, we are getting the final value of temperature as 80.8 Kelvin. Okay. Okay. Taking the log only the problem, but in mathematics classes you are doing and it is very much familiar, or if you are using your scientific calculator, that may not be a problem. Okay. So, with this we are going to wind up today's class. So, just to recap what we have studied. Yes, Mayer's relationship we have derived and some numericals also we have done. Okay, clear? Yes, so after studying the portions, worksheet is attached here. You have to go through this worksheet. Okay, some questions are given, simple numericals given, have to do that after studying the chapter. Okay. Okay, then let us conclude. Can meet our next class. Learn well. Thank you all.